Our next topic in Bohr's theory is your hydrogen spectra. Okay, so now what happens is, okay, whenever you take some body and if you hit this body, for example, let us say you have some body. Now, if you hit this body, what it will do is it will emit electromagnetic radiation. Okay, whenever you hit some body because of internal temperature, electromagnetic radiation will be emitted. Now, this electromagnetic radiation already you have studied in electromagnetic waves chapter. That is, you have gamma rays, X rays, ultraviolet rays, visible region, infrared region, microwaves, followed by radio waves. Now, if you take this, okay, this electromagnetic spectrum, in this visible region, okay, you are seeing this VIBGYOR colors, okay, that too from left to right, okay, frequency decreases, wavelength increases. Now, this is what you have known, I mean, what is known or what you have studied already. Okay, so now this wavelengths, okay, there is some wavelength range for this. Okay, there is some wavelength range for this which we have already studied in electromagnetic waves. Okay, so it actually, I mean, in some books frequency will be given, in some books wavelength will be given. Okay, what you take is of your choice. Okay, so if you use the relation velocity is equal to frequency into wavelength, here electromagnetic waves travel with speed of light 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second. So from here, if frequency is known, wavelength can be given. If wavelength is known, frequency can be given, vice versa. Okay. Now, if you take the wavelength range for different radiations, okay, I am just summarizing what you have learnt or what you must have, what you must learn previously. Okay. So now coming to gamma rays, okay, the wavelength is less than 10 power minus 3 nanometers. Okay, less than 10 power minus 3 nanometers, and X-rays is, it is 10 power minus 3 to 1 nanometer. Okay, and your UV rays is 1 nanometer to 400 nanometers, and VIBGYOR is 400 to 700 nanometers. Okay, and this is, okay, IR radiation is 700 nanometers to 1 millimeter. Okay, and here it is 1 millimeter to 0.1 meters, and radio waves it is greater than 0.1 meters. Okay, now what I want all of you to do is, okay, close your eyes, remember these values. Okay, because it is very essential. Okay, they can ask you questions from waves chapter, lot of things. Okay, they could give you, you will be able to calculate wavelength anyhow directly, but to which range it belongs you should be able to decide. Okay, in the options they will give you find wavelength. So in the options they will give you wavelength, comma, it belongs to so and so, it belongs to X-rays, it belongs to UV rays, it belongs to infrared radiation, it belongs to radio waves. Like this, lot of things could be asked, but pretty simple and easy if you remember these values. Okay, now how to remember this? For this also, okay, for those of you who are struggling, okay, I would remember this way: gamma, XUV, IMR is the sequence. Okay, gamma rays, X rays, okay, this is like XUV, Mahindra XUV. Okay, immediate requirement. Okay, so gamma is like kind of powerful radiation XUV, immediate requirement, something like that you can remember. Okay, so you keep your own shortcut in your brain to get this, but still, okay, right. Next, coming to this nanometers part. Okay, this nanometer part, if you look at this, okay, till here you have in nanometers. Okay, from here this is changing. Okay, these three values you can remember. So till here, first it is less than 10 power minus 3, then 10 power minus 3 to 1, 1 to 400, 400 to 700, 700 to 1 mm. Okay, so you must remember the values like this. Now once you remember this hydrogen spectrum properly, okay, when this this electromagnetic spectrum, if you remember previously properly, okay, what you will do is you will be calculating wavelengths, and once you get some standard answer, okay, immediately you can look into this table and then decide to which range it belongs. You can directly give the answer, okay. So that is why it is important, okay. Now hope you have understood the importance of this. Now let us continue further. Now if you take this hydrogen gas, okay, if you take this hydrogen gas, okay, hydrogen gas, okay, H2 gas, okay, if heated, okay, if heated, it emits, if heated, it emits radiations of different wavelengths. It emits radiations of different wavelengths, okay. Now these wavelengths can be grouped into different series. These wavelengths can be grouped, these wavelengths can be grouped into different series, okay, into different series, okay, alright. So what is that series? I will tell you. So 1 by lambda is r times 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square, okay. So this is your wavelength series, okay, right. So 1 by lambda is r times 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square, okay. Now this wavelength in various series can be represented by this general formula, okay. Now here you know this, but I have written RH into Z square, but here Z is equal to 1. So it is 1 by lambda is R times 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. Now, okay, in this you will have, okay, Lyman series, okay, then Balmer series, Lyman, Balmer, Paschen, okay, bracket series, then followed by Fund series, okay. Now here for Lyman series line, okay, what will happen is your de-excitation will happen, okay, in Lyman series your de-excitation will happen from which state to which state means to ground state, okay, in Lyman series ground state, okay. Your N2 can have a value from 2, 3, 4 so on, okay, and the radiation that you are going to get in this will be in the range of UV region, okay. The wavelength values that you are going to get will be in the UV region, okay. Next, similarly, okay, if you take this Balmer series, Paschen series, bracket series and Fund series, okay, here your Balmer series N2 value is 2, okay, sorry, N1 value is 2, okay, that is, okay, you can say that it is K shell, it is L, M, N, okay. First line will be alpha line, okay, KLMN, okay. So KLMNO, something like that you can say that, okay. So K alpha line, H alpha line, H beta line, something like that they will give you. So any notation it is used, don't get confused, okay. So you are in this state, okay. So here it is N1 is equal to 2 and N2 is, okay, 3, 4, 5 so on, okay. So it belongs to visible region, okay, it belongs to visible region. And coming to Paschen series, okay, your Paschen series is N1 is equal to 3 and your N2 is 4, 5, 6 so on, it is infrared region, okay, it is IR region. And coming to bracket series, your N1 is 4, your N2 is 5, 6, 7 so on, okay, it is also IR region, okay. And Fund series, it is N1 equal to 5, your N2 is 6, 7, 8 so on, okay, this is also IR region, okay. So you have, okay, different spectrum regions like this, and you if you look at this, okay, UV region in the first two cases and IR region in the last three cases. In this near IR, far IR is there, that you will study in chemistry, but for physics part this is enough, okay. Now let me tabulate this, okay. hope you have remembered these things. Okay, so Lyman series N1 is 1, Balmer series N1 is 2, Paschen 3 bracket 4, Fund series 5, and the radiation the wavelength that you are getting, okay, the radiation that you are getting, okay, it belongs to this, okay, mostly it is in UV or IR region. UV region is what, 1 nanometer to, okay, UV is 1 nanometer to 400 nanometers, visible region standard result 400 to 700, that anyone will remember. And coming to your IR, okay, if you look at IR, 700 nanometer to 1 mm, okay. So like this you will get the values. Okay, now these are not exactly sharp, but some ups and downs could slightly be there. Okay, right now okay, next is, okay, if you take the, in the questions they can ask you first line of Lyman series, second line of Lyman series, third line of Lyman series, like that they'll ask you. So in such a case, okay, which line you are supposed to take is also to be known to you properly. Okay, so let us say N1 is 1, N2 is 2, N3 is 3, N4 is 4, like this, 5, so on, it's increasing. Now if you take the lines, okay, if you take the lines, first line of Lyman series is, okay, 2 to 1, okay, this is your first line, or also called as alpha line, K alpha line, okay, first line or K alpha line, okay, it is first line or K alpha line. Okay, next this is second line or beta line. Okay, so this is your K subscript beta line. Okay, this is K subscript gamma line. Okay, alpha beta gamma, like that, with subscript K, because your n equal to 1 is kind of K shell. This is L, this is M, this is N. Okay, next second, if you are going for, okay, this can also be sometimes, okay, right, this can also be sometimes in some other ways it could be given. Okay, now next, if you look at this Balmer series, okay, after Lyman Balmer series will come. Okay, so coming to Balmer series, okay, first line, second line, third line, like this, they can give you L alpha, L beta, but remember, okay, one more notation is there for Balmer series. Okay, Balmer series, this can be given as H alpha, this can be given as H beta. Okay, that is H alpha line is what, from 3 to 2 transition. Okay, right, H beta line is what, from 4 to 2 transition, this is H gamma, or same notation you can also give it as L alpha, L beta, L gamma. Okay, in different books different notations will be given, but still all are same. Okay, right, so first line alpha line, second line beta line. Okay, if you have any doubts just let me know. Okay, so Lyman series first line, if it is asked, 2 to 1, Lyman series second line 3 to 1, Lyman series third line 4 to 1. Okay, similarly Balmer series first line 3 to 2, Balmer series second line 4 to 2, Balmer series third line it is from 5 to 2. Okay, so like this you can take different values. Okay, now, okay, there is one more idea. Okay, so this also you should remember, okay, for problem solving, not to have any trouble. Next, your next thing is, okay, limiting line of series. Okay, limiting line of series. Okay, all these things will once again come in the problems. So while doing problems we will anyhow revise different aspects. Okay, under each heading we will do some 5 to 10 problems to get the clarity. Okay, so now coming to the series limit. Okay, limiting line of the series. Now limiting line means, okay, limiting line means, okay, n2 is infinity, second state is infinity, second state is infinity. Okay, so longest wavelength, longest sorry, not longest, shortest, because our energy gap if you take it is hc by lambda. when the gap is more, okay, when the gap is more, energy gap is more, lambda is small. Okay, so this is also kind of shortest wavelength possible. Okay, this is your shortest lambda possible also will occur in this case only. Okay, so now in Lyman series, if you take, okay, in Lyman series, if you take limiting line, okay, so your 1 by lambda is r times, okay, 1 by 1 square minus 1 by infinity square. Any number by infinity is 0, so it is r by 1 square. So your lambda is 1 square by r. Okay, next for Balmer series, okay, for Balmer series, 1 by lambda is r times 1 by 2 square minus 1 by infinity square. This term is 0, that is equal to r by 4. So lambda is 2 square by r. For bracket series, okay, following the same logic, okay, if they are asking you the wavelength of limiting line, it is 3 square by r. For fund series, Lyman Balmer bracket, okay, Lyman Balmer, sorry, Paschen. So it is Paschen series, Paschen series. Then for bracket series, okay, what is there? It's all just a matter of names. So lambda will become 4 square by r. For fund series, it is lambda is equal to 5 square by r. Okay, in general, okay, in general, limiting line wavelength is lambda is equal to n square by r. 1 by r is 912 Armstrongs or 91.2 nanometers. That is of your choice what to use depending upon units in the question. Okay, so now based on this there will be pretty simple questions, and okay, you will be able to do it. Okay, same what you have done in energy, that only we will be doing even here. Okay, so let me do some basic questions on this, then we will go to de Broglie's wavelength stuff, and then we will move ahead. Okay, so some extra information wherever it is required I will keep adding, okay, in the problem solving sessions, but mostly I have covered everything logically what is required. Okay, because all these lectures are to save your time, not to show that I know subject. Okay, so to prove the subject I can do lot of advanced level questions, but that will waste your time. Okay, the time that you have is very valuable because you need to study maths, you need to study physics, you need to study chemistry and biology for NEET people, and it's not studying alone. Listening is one aspect, but triggering the ideas whenever you see a question, okay, this is the formula that I'm supposed to use, those triggers should actually come. So for those triggers to actually come, it really requires lot of practice at diversified topics. Okay, so you should not waste your time. Okay, so whatever is required, that much I am giving. Learn these things perfectly, do HC Verma at least out of using this, and then your job is done. You will be able to do things easily. Okay, all right, now next let's move ahead. Okay, so we have seen the limiting lines of the series as well. Now based on this, let me give you a simple question. The question is this, first question, calculate lambda of H beta line. Okay, so how will you do this answer? Okay, so H beta, H alpha, H beta are the terms used in, what did I tell you, Balmer series. In Balmer series, first line is alpha line, second line is beta line. So n is equal to 2. First line is from 3 to 2, it is alpha line. From 4 to 2, it is beta line. Okay, H beta. So 1 by lambda is equal to r times z square times, it is actually 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. Because hydrogen spectrum, the z value is 1. So 1 by lambda is r times, okay, it is 1 by 2 square minus 1 by 4 square. So 1 by lambda is r times 1 by 4 minus 1 by 16. You simplify it, lambda is 1 by lambda is r times, okay, 4 minus 1 3, it is 3 by 16. Okay, so lambda is 16 by 3r, so it is 16 by 3 times 1 by r. that is equal to 16 by 3 times 91.2 nanometers. You simplify, how much you get, that is your answer. I think you should be getting it as around 486 nanometers. Now if frequency asked, frequency is okay, velocity of wave is frequency into wavelength. So frequency, if it is asked, c by lambda. C is 3 into 10 power 8 by lambda is 486 nanometers, means 10 power minus 9. Simplify, how much you get, that is your answer. Okay, right. Next, your next question is okay, basic questions you will be able to do it properly. Okay, next, your next question is find lambda max and lambda min, okay, in Lyman series, and to in which region of electromagnetic spectrum they belong. Okay, so pretty easy. Pause the video clip, try the answer. Okay, hope you have tried for sufficient amount of time. So what is the answer? So 1 by lambda is r times, okay, r times 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square is your formula. In Lyman series, this r value is 1 by 1 square minus 1 by n2 square. Keep this aside. Now when maximum occurs, when minimum occurs means, okay, we know that delta E energy gap is Hc by lambda. Okay, so if lambda is small, because lambda is in the denominator, lambda small, energy gap is big. Lambda big, energy gap is small. So here you want, okay, lambda max. Okay, so lambda max will become, okay, so here you will have, okay, energy gap is big, big gap, okay, gap is big, lambda is small. Okay, here gap is small, gap is small, okay, lambda is big. So 1 by lambda max, okay, 1 by lambda max is r times 1 by 1 square minus 1 by 2 square. Here 1 by lambda min is, okay, r times it is 1 by 1 square minus 1 by infinity square. Limiting line, minimum wavelength. Okay, so like this you are supposed to solve the equation. Simplify it, you will get the answers. Okay, right. Next, all basic questions we are touching first, so that it makes the subject easy. Okay, right. Next, lambda of wavelength of first line of Lyman for hydrogen is same as that of second line of Balmer series for hydrogen like ion X. Okay, find ion X, okay, to which atom it belongs. Okay, and their energies is asked, but there is no point, you will be able to do it. Okay, so pause the video clip, try the answer. Okay, so what is your answer? First line of Lyman series means it is your 1 by lambda is what? Okay, for Lyman series first line is from 2 to 1, so it is r times, here it is 1 square times 1 by n1 square, 1 by 1 square minus 1 by 2 square. This is equal to, this is Lyman series. Second line, okay, it is also 1 by lambda of second line, it is r times z square times, okay, Balmer series means it is 1 by 2 square minus second line. Okay, in Balmer series n equal to 2, n equal to 3, n equal to 4. So in Balmer series first line is from 3 to 2, second line is from 4 to 2, so that is, it is 1 by 4 square. Okay, so these two are equal. Out of this r will cancel off. R times 1 minus 1 by 4 is z square times 1 by 4 minus 1 by 16. From here calculate the value of z. R will go off. Okay, so once you get the value of z, you can give whatever, any value that is asked, you can finish it off. Okay, right. Next, your next question is, In chemistry lot of combinations are possible. In physics they will not focus much on this many combinations. They will give you straightforward question relating to photoelectric effect or something. You should be able to give the answer. Okay, right? Next. So the question is like this: your electron is initially in some state of n. This is your ground state. On giving energy from this n state, the electron has excited to some n dash state. Now during de-excitation it is coming to ground state, and six lines are possible during de-excitation. Okay, 6 lines are possible. Okay, and you are giving light of 54 nanometer to this excitation. Okay, so while coming 6 lines are possible, out of which 3 have wavelength shorter than 54. Okay, so logical question, maths is also included. Try this question. Okay, read the question properly, try this, then I will discuss the solution. Hope you have read the question, tried it for sufficient amount of time. Now you have remembered the previous lecture. Okay, coming to number of spectral lines, clearly I have told you that it is n1 minus n2 times n1. The relation that I have given is, okay, directly, because it is ground state, I can directly write it as n times n minus 1 by 2. Okay, so applying this relation, because there are totally 6 spectral lines, here it is n dash, because from n dash 6 lines are possible. So it will become n dash times n dash minus 1 is 12. So that implies this is 4 and this term is 3. So what is n dash means it is 4. So your n dash value is 4. Okay, so from fourth state, okay, it could be either 3 or 2 or 1. N value could be 3 or 2 or 1. Okay, because there are totally 6 transitions, I have come to this conclusion. Okay, right? Next, now giving 54 nanometers light, it has gone to, okay, giving 54 nanometers light, it has gone from middle state to fourth state. Now first let us calculate the energy gap from 4 to 1. 4 to 1, if you look at the table, minus 13.6, okay, it is minus 3.4, then it is 1.51, then it is minus 0.85. The gap that you take from 4 to 1, how much it is in hydrogen spectrum? Okay, so how much it is, you decide and then try to do the answer. Okay, so we will follow that logic and then we will try to do the answer. Okay, now your next possibility is, now here we have 2 possibilities. Okay, either n could be 3 or it could be n could be 4. It is 3 or 4. Okay, now sorry, 3 or 2. Okay, n dash is anyhow 4. Now what are the possible transitions, okay, for the spectral lines from 3 means, okay, if n is 3, 3 to 4 transition will be 54 nanometers. Now here what are the possible transitions to orbit lower than third orbit means de-excitation? 4 to 1 is possible, 4 to 2 is possible, 3 to 2 is possible, 3 to 1 is possible. Okay, what is this? Transitions. Okay, transitions from, okay, transitions from, okay, transmissions I can say to lower orbits. Okay, transitions to lower orbits. Okay, transitions to lower orbits. Okay, right? So now, sir, why is that you are not taking 2 to 1? I will tell you. But these are the transitions to orbits lower than third orbit. Okay, these are the transitions to lower orbits than 3. Now if you take these transitions, okay, if you take these transitions, for those of you who are getting confused, okay, this n equal to 3 option will not work out. Why? I will tell you. Observe carefully. Now if you look at this figure, okay, if you look at this figure, from bottom to top, okay, from bottom to top, energy gap decreases, lambda increases, okay, because your energy gap is equal to hc by lambda. Now if you look at this, okay, other than 54 nanometers 4 to 3 transition, the possible transitions are 4 to 2, 4 to 1, 3 to 2, 3 to 1, okay, because the de-excitation is happening to ground state. 2 to 1 is also possible, of course. Okay, now if you look at these transitions, all these transitions will have wavelength shorter than 54 nanometers, but in the question what is given? Clearly only 3 are possible is mentioned in the question. Okay, so only 3 are possible means obviously this situation will not work out. Okay, n equal to 3 is wrong. The only possible transition is, okay, n equal to 2. So what will happen is, okay, your electron will jump from 2 to 4, okay, in between you have n equal to 3. Now if n is 2, okay, so observe carefully the transitions from 4 to 1, 3 to 1, 2 to 1, okay, so all these will have wavelengths, okay, all these will have wavelengths shorter than 54 nanometers, okay, and 4 to 3 and 3 to 2 will have, okay, greater than 54, okay, 2 to 4 exactly 54, okay, so that's why your correct answer is n equal to 2. Okay, so this is a logical question, but still, okay, you need to get convinced yourself to solve this question. Okay, so with this, okay, we'll stop this idea now. Okay, next we'll move ahead to, okay, limitations of Bohr's model. Okay, it's not like every model is perfect. Okay, even Bohr's model has some drawbacks. Okay, so there are advantages as well as disadvantages. Okay, then we need to go back to reduced mass idea as well. Okay, so now here with this, hope you must have understood the Bohr's model completely. Now what are the limitations of Bohr's model? I'll tell you. Okay, so the demerits are, okay, idea of stationary orbits is not justified properly. Okay, he told that electrons will revolve in stationary orbits. Why? No proper explanation. Okay, right, because and it is mixed with idea of stationary orbits mixed with Coulomb force. Okay, this Coulomb's law is related to what? Coulomb's law is valid for non-accelerating charges, but here also when the electron is revolving, okay, it is accelerating, but that stationary orbit is making energy constant, so it is not properly explained. Okay, next, there is also problem with spectral lines. Okay, spectral lines issue. Okay, you might have studied in chemistry. Okay, what is called as okay, the spectral lines of continuous and discrete spectral lines logic is not properly explained. Okay, all right, next, why this circle assumption? Okay, spectral lines problem, then circle assumption, why electron is revolving only in circle, why not ellipse? Okay, why not ellipse kind of stuff, like how orbit in your satellites or interstellar objects are moving around the planets or stars in elliptical orbits. Okay, right, then origin of here origin of spectral lines is we have talked of. Okay, then what else is there is, okay, we cannot make calculations also, and then okay, splitting of spectral lines in presence of electric and magnetic fields, okay, which is called as Zeeman and Stark effect. Okay, splitting of, okay, spectral lines, okay, it could not explain splitting of spectral lines, okay, when it is subjected to electric field, when subjected to electric field and magnetic field. Okay, so when subjected to electric field it is called as Stark effect. Okay, when subjected to magnetic field it is called as Zeeman effect. Okay, it failed to explain these ideas. Okay, and using this, okay, these are the problems of Bohr's model. Okay, now this is done. Okay, now we need to understand a slight idea of, okay, we need to understand the slight idea of Rydberg's constant as well. Okay, why is that Rydberg's constant? I'll tell you. Okay, so now first let me explain about reduced mass first, then I will come back to this idea. Okay, now your next heading is reduced mass. Now in Bohr's theory we are writing, okay, Rydberg's constant value is actually, you will get mu e power 4 by 8 epsilon naught square ch cube, something like this. Now this is constant provided this compared to nucleus, okay, compared to nucleus, electron is at rest, but in reality that is not the case. Okay, that atom could even be moving. So here Rydberg's constant, okay, there is no satisfiable explanation here in Bohr's theory. Okay, so what actually you are supposed to take in this idea I will tell you. Okay, so now I will write statement by statement. Okay, so in Bohr's theory, okay, in Bohr's theory, okay, it is assumed that nucleus has infinite mass and, okay, infinite mass and at rest. Okay, right. Now here reality, okay, reality not possible. Okay, in reality it is not possible. Okay, so in fact, okay, proton and electron both revolve in circular orbits. In fact, okay, electron and proton, okay, electron and proton both revolve in circular orbits. Okay, circular orbits about their common center of mass, about their common center of mass. Okay, right. So if that is the case, with respect to the center of mass, both nucleus is moving as well as electron is moving. Okay, so if they are identical, then it is a different story. Okay, your center of mass will be exactly at a distance of r by 2 r by 2, your will revolve. So this revolves this way, this revolves this way, so two particles will revolve like this. But here this masses may not be equal. One mass could be heavy, nuclear mass could be heavy, and this mass should be small. So what happens? If this is some r1, if this is some r2, your center of mass will be closer to heavier mass. Okay, so if motion of nucleus is to be considered, okay, then what is that we are supposed to do is, okay, we are supposed to, okay, if motion of nucleus, okay, if motion of nucleus is to be considered, motion of nucleus is to be considered, replace, okay, replace mass of electron m by reduced mass mu of nucleus, reduced mass mu of nucleus and electron in all formulae, okay, where your reduced mass is capital M into small m by capital M plus small m. Okay, we need to do this. Okay, why should we do this? Because your rotation is not about the nucleus, your rotation is about the center of mass of this combination. So what is your mu means? Okay, you can rearrange it and write it as small m by 1 plus, okay, it is small m by 1 plus small m by capital M. If capital M is very much greater than small m by capital M tends to 0. So your reduced mass will become equal to n. Okay, so using this idea actually you are supposed to do the questions. Okay, so my point is all those relations are valid, only that nucleus compared to the nucleus electron is at rest, but I mean it's not possible. Okay, practically it is not possible. Okay, so nucleus cannot be at rest. Nucleus and this charged particle, they will revolve about one another with respect to center of mass. Okay, so that is why this idea is not a proper one. Okay, so whatever relations that we are writing. Okay, so based on this there will be some questions, but still, okay, information sake I have told you. Okay, now with this we'll stop this part. Next we'll move ahead to, okay, de Broglie's matter waves. Okay, now coming to this de Broglie's matter waves, you might have studied in chemistry properly, but still I'll put it in simple terms. Now, what is de Broglie's explanation of Bohr's quantization rule? Okay, it also gave explanation of Bohr's quantization rule. So, what is that? I'll tell you now. Okay, according to Bohr, okay, according to Bohr, okay, your angular momentum mvr, we are writing it as nh by 2 pi, it is having particle nature. Okay, but Davis and Germer experiment, okay, later verified wave nature of electrons. Okay, so I will talk about it later, but there is something called as Davis and Germer experiment. Davis and Germer experiment, okay, verified wave nature of electrons. Wave nature of electrons. Now, when Davison Germer experiment verified wave nature of electrons, obviously what is there? Okay, so this matter particle that you are talking of, okay, your electron, it is also supposed to have a wave nature. Okay, so what de Broglie told is, okay, what de Broglie told is, okay, electron in, okay, de Broglie's argument is, okay, de Broglie's argument is electron in circular orbit, okay, electron in circular orbit must be, okay, must be seen as particle wave, not as particle. Okay, that means it is having both particle nature as well as wave nature. Okay, so he gave this relation 2 pi Rn is equal to n lambda, where n is 1, 2, 3, so on. Okay, where Rn is radius of nth orbit. Okay, so he argued that, okay, if you take this orbit, your wave, okay, this node anti-node, this distance is lambda. Okay, so this distance is lambda. For an nth orbit like this, n combinations will combine and give this lambda. So totally here you have 4 lambdas, so it is kind of 4th orbit. Okay, so de Broglie gave this. Okay, now this is modified. Okay, this we are modifying it and writing it as different equation. Now, okay, de Broglie's argument is that actual argument. Okay, but I can say it this way. Okay, if you have a particle, okay, if you have a particle, if this particle is in motion, if this particle is in motion, okay, if this particle is in motion, a wave will be associated with it. A wave will be associated with it. Okay, associated with it. That wave nature, wavelength is given by lambda is equal to h into p. Okay, if you take a book and if it is moving, there is a wave associated with it. If you take a pen and if that pen is moving, there is an associated wave. If we are walking, because we have momentum, there is an associated wave with it. Okay, so that associated wave, okay, that associated wave is given by this formula, where p is momentum of electron. Now, okay, if you take this, okay, h by lambda, but p is what? mv. Now we have seen that 2 pi rn is n lambda. Okay, 2 pi rn is n lambda. Okay, 2 pi rn is n lambda. Now this 2 pi rn is, if you substitute this lambda into this equation, that will become n times h by mv. So you are getting mv rn is equal to nh by 2 pi. So what is that I have done? Okay, I have proved, or we have proved, okay, we have proved, okay, Bohr's quantization rule. Okay, we have proved Bohr's quantization rule from, okay, de Broglie's idea of, de Broglie's hypothesis or idea of matter waves. Okay, so that is the thing. Now from this statement, what is that? We are supposed to understand lambda is equal to h by mv. That much if you know, that is enough. Okay, now based on this, from where problems will come, I will tell you. So de Broglie's equation or formula is, okay, so you have got lambda is equal to h by mv. Now your kinetic energy is what? Half m v square into m by m. If you do, that become p square by 2m. This is your kinetic energy. P is under root 2m into kinetic energy. So this expression will become h by under root 2 times m into kinetic energy. Now to measure the kinetic energy of particles, okay, to measure the kinetic energy of the particles, work done by all forces is equal to change in kinetic energy. Okay, charged particles are accelerated by some potential energy, potential difference. This is your charge, this is your potential difference. So this is equal to Ke final minus Ke initial. Initially, if it is at rest, your Ke final will become Q times delta V. So this will become h by under root 2m into charge into delta V. This is called as accelerating potential. Okay, so based on this, there will be expressions. Now, okay, very important results I will give you. Okay, first, if electron is accelerated by delta V, if electron is accelerated by potential difference, okay, your lambda expression that you are going to get is, okay, what is that? Your lambda expression. I am talking of lambda. So the lambda expression that you are going to get here is, okay, lambda is, okay, h by under root 2 times mass of electron, which is 9.11 into 10 power minus 31 times charge is E times potential difference. H value 6.634, everything if you substitute. Lambda of electron you are going to get it as 12.27 by root V Armstrongs. Okay, very important, this result you should remember. Okay, result number 1. Next, if proton is accelerated by delta V in this expression, if proton is accelerated by potential difference, proton mass 1.67 into 10 power minus 27 kg. So substituting that, okay, if proton is there, okay, this is also under root 150 by V Armstrongs. Okay, unit is important. Okay, if proton is done, okay, if proton is accelerated, lambda of proton, if you substitute, you will be getting 0.286 by root V Armstrongs. Okay, next, neutron, it is not done. Okay, similarly, lambda of deuteron, mostly they will not ask, but if bad time happens, I can do nothing. Root V Armstrongs. If it is alpha particle, okay, if alpha particle, it is 0.101 by root V Armstrongs. Okay, now for a neutron, what will happen? I will write it. Okay, for neutron particle, but first copy this content. So for neutron, okay, for neutron, okay, neutron lambda is equal to h by under root 2m into kinetic energy. Now for particles, okay, if temperature is giving kinetic energy to neutrons, then they are called as thermal neutrons. So for thermal neutrons, okay, half mv square kinetic energy will become 3 by 2 times kb into T. Okay, this you will study in kinetic theory of gases, where kb is Boltzmann constant. Kb is what? Boltzmann constant. Okay, kb is Boltzmann constant. Okay, now this Boltzmann constant kb is 1.38 into 10 power minus 23, which is also equal to gas constant. It's not Rydberg's constant, 8.314 by Avogadro number, 6.023 into 10 power 23. T temperature is in Kelvin scale. Now from here 2 will cancel off. So in place of mv square, you can substitute 3 by 2 kb into T. So that will give you okay, that will give you the values. Okay, so p square by 2m is, okay, kinetic energy if you take, okay, without cancelling, p square by 2m is kinetic energy, that will become 3 by 2 kb into T. 2 will cancel off. P is under root 3m into kb into T. Now if you substitute this back into equations, your lambda is h by p, lambda of neutron, so that will become h by under root 3 times m into Boltzmann constant into temperature T. Okay, so like this you are supposed to calculate basic values, and if it is thermal neutron, substituting all these values, it will become 30.83 by root T Armstrongs. Okay, so remember this result as well. Okay, in the exam you will not have much time to substitute all these results. Okay, and your Heisenberg's uncertainty principle and all, you knew them, so I don't need to explain it. Okay, so with this your entire chapter is done. From my side, from your side, you are supposed to learn everything. Okay, so summary is what you have learned in this part alone is your lambda is h by p, that is equal to h by mv, that is equal to h by under root 2 times m into kinetic energy, which is equal to h by under root 2 times m into charge times potential difference for charged particles. Okay, number 2, I am writing summary for de Broglie's matter waves ideas. Okay, next, your 2 pi r is equal to n lambda. Okay, 2 pi rn is equal to n lambda. then your lambda of electron is under root 150 by V Armstrongs. So that you are going to get it as 12.27 by root V Armstrongs. Lambda of proton, if you substitute, okay, you are going to get 0.286 by root V Armstrongs. Lambda of deuteron, if you are going to calculate, it is 0.202 by root V Armstrongs. Lambda of alpha particle, if you take, you are going to get it as 0.101 by root V Armstrong. Lambda of thermal neutron, if you take, okay, it is 30.83 by root of temperature into Armstrong if it is thermal neutron. Okay, basic method you can use this formula, else you should remember all these values. Okay, and in sometimes if Boltzmann constant energy expressions are there, you substitute those values. Okay, so with this we have completed the entire Bohr's atom. Okay, next we will be seeing X-rays. After X-rays is done, we will go to nuclear physics. Okay, all right, so that's all for today. See you in the next class.